hours, you said. Okay. Preparing to live stream the meeting. We're not going to need these for anything. I don't think that's important to figure out right now. Okay. Oh boy. I don't know what's going on here. That's last week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay. All right. I see a chat from someone. Oh, hello, Grace Stevenson. Okay. I think we're live streaming. It says we're on custom live streaming service. Yes. Oh no, that's last week. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. This is fun watching myself from last week. Isn't it? Are we on? Okay. Yes, there's my face. Good. How about we switch the camera to have it be not my face? How do we do that? We'll bring it back to the light. Different camera. You know what? I don't. Oh, here. Probably one of these. Oh. Classroom. Perfect. Lecture. Board. That's okay. I don't think this is of the utmost importance. Okay, so we're good. I don't care. Let's see. Okay.
I also don't want to mess with anything.
Okay, how about you keep messing, or I'll keep messing with things while you take attendance. That's okay. What we'll do. Okay. All right, thank you all for your patience. This meeting of the Student Senate is now called to order, and I'd like to invite Danny Silverhorn to come on down and open us in prayer. Yeah, no, we'll go for live. There we have it.
Alrighty, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord Jesus Christ, please pour your grace and blessing upon all here gathered for the Student Senate. Give us a spirit of prudence and justice to make decisions which promote the well-being of every student on our campus. And Mary, our Mother, please lift up your university to your Son and be with us in all that we do. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thanks, Danny. That was beautiful and unique. We love to hear a new Senate prayer. All right, so I will now pass it over to Catherine to do a little roll call while I figure out the camera. Yes, so Catherine, go for it.
Dan Bowdendiestel. Isabella Garcia. Here. Daniel Schermerhorn. Sarah Kirsch. Here. John Mansfield. Christina Escazio. Dan Law. Anoop Sunkara. Michael Murakami. Jordan Leiden. Niels Casperson. Maggie Allen. Albertina Estrada Martinez. Henry Jackson. Benjamin Earhart. Jason Thomas.
Here.
Awesome. Natalie Ortega.
Here.
Molly Strack. Elaine Teeters. Ahmed.
Here.
Oh, perfect. Gotcha. Ahmed Al-Hassani. Alec Frailer. Bianca Burnett. Carson Thompson. Libby Messman, Anisha Japira, Michael Lynch,
Have a real good time, guys.
Miles Kelly, Alex Kibirowski,
Here.
Patrick Lee, Grace Franco, Teresa Salazar, Henry Bates, Blake Johnson, Johnny O'Meara,
Here.
Renee Pearson, Jordan Burrow, Sam Canova, Ricardo Posas Garza, Connor Delaney, Rachel Ingalls, Madison Neiman, Grace Stevenson,
Here.
Murray Bath,
Here.
Julia Orkurt, Thomas Davis, Esteban Linares, and Karen Kennedy. Awesome.
Fabulous. Well, we have both roll call done and the camera is now working. I feel good about my technical capabilities now. Catherine, will you keep us rolling with a resume of our minutes from last time, and then we'll see if we can approve them?
Yes, so last week, since we had a vacancy on the Committee on the Constitution of Senators, we had Dan Law and Dan Earhart become new senators for the Committee on the Constitution. And then we had a discussion regarding a resolution calling for Notre Dame COVID-19 disciplinary proceedings to respect the principles of due process, the petition with Mike Dugan. And then we voted to approve that, and that was it.
All right, beautiful. Thanks so much, Catherine. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns about last week's minutes? All right, seeing none, minutes are approved, and we can move on to executive announcements, of which I believe I only have one. Yes, I do believe indeed. We will be sending out an email tomorrow about the university mental health services that are being offered this semester. This will include, of course, the UCC as well as care and wellness consultants. I've actually invited Margaret Morgan to come speak to you all so you can learn more about what a care and wellness consultant is, which is a really cool thing. We're also including Fighting Irish Care, which is still continuing if you prefer a telehealth option. That is still an option this semester, as well as the new Calm app, which we all are very excited about. You can either have Harry Styles read you a bedtime story, you can hear about LeBron's career in a soothing manner. So really all good things, and we hope you take advantage of that. And that is really my only executive announcement for the moment. So without further ado, we can hand it over. Thomas Davis, would you like to walk us through SO 2021-18, which is in order to suspend vacancy elections in both Keel Hall as well as Johnson Family Hall?
Hello?
Sad.
Sad.
Great night, guys. Okay, this one looks like it's good. Go for it.
Can you hear me? Hello?
I'll yell. I'll project. I'm good at that. Okay, so this is in order to suspend vacancy elections, you know, take them. Whereas Article 15, Section 1 of the Constitution, the other in case of elections where there is one candidate or ticket opposed to the election and candidate shall be the winner. Whereas only one candidate has reason that received by the council for the vacancy election. The decision to be a all vice president, whereas only one candidate is alive to it. Has been approved by the judicial council for the vacancy election. Therefore, be ordered by the Superintendent of the University of Notre Dame on the recommendation of the Judicial Council of the vacancy election to all vice presidents, Johnson County will send it to the Senate, the applicant candidate declared.
you, Thomas. Seeing no questions, do I hear a motion to end questioning? Move to debate. Oh, we do have a question. Is that Ricardo?
No, that's a motion.
Thank you. Fabulous. Let's vote on that. All in favor? And all opposed? Okay, awesome. We're now in a debate over SO 2021-18. Would anyone like to raise a point of debate? Michael Murakami, go for it. All right, I like it. Let's vote on that. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, wonderful. So we have now moved into a vote on SO 2021-18, and I believe a simple hand vote will suffice. So all in favor? Great. Anyone opposed? Wonderful. Thank you all for passing SO 2021-18 on the recommendation of Judicial Council. And now I get to do something that I enjoy doing, which is oaths of office. So Eliza Smith, would you like to say them? Exciting. Okay, so raise your right hand and repeat after me. Here we have it. I, insert your name, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of Student Senator of the University of Notre Dame du Lac, that I will bear true allegiance to the same, that, exercising my highest ethic, I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the undergraduate student body, that I take this obligation freely, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office which I am about to enter. There you have it, our newest Johnson Family Hall Senator. Okay, this is so exciting. We have a new senator in our ranks, folks. And with that oath of office complete, we can move on to another Judicial Council resolution. They're just pumping them out this week, which is SO 2021-19, in order to gauge undergraduate student opinion on Article 14, Section 1A of the Constitution by referendum. And I believe I will hand this one over to Madison. I think this works now. Let's see.
Okay. Okay, so in order to gauge undergraduate student opinion on Article 14, Section 1A of the Constitution by referendum. Whereas the Committee on the Constitution formed a subcommittee with the duty of addressing Article 14 of the Constitution. Whereas Article 14, Section 1A only requires a petition to garner the valid signatures of 200 members of the undergraduate student body in order for the petition to be referred to the Student Senate. Whereas 200 members of the undergraduate student body represents less than 3% of the undergraduate student body as it currently stands, whereas the Committee on the Constitution believes there should be a higher standard of signatures required of petitioners in order to refer a petition to the Student Senate, whereas the Committee on the Constitution believes it is vital to the rights of the undergraduate student body that the Senate shall gauge the opinion from the undergraduate student body regarding an amendment to Article 14, Section 1A of the Constitution, whereas Article 14, Section 3 grants the Senate the ability to gauge student opinion via referenda, whereas Article 3, Section 3N of the Constitution grants the Senate the ability to determine the duties of all positions enumerated in this Constitution, including J Council by a 2/3 vote of all Senate members, therefore be it ordered by the Student Senate of the University of Notre Dame du Lac. That on recommendation of CONCON, the Senate shall gauge opinion from the undergraduate student body through referendum as enumerated by Article 14, Section 3 of the Constitution. The referendum shall include the following question as it pertains to the proposed amendment to Article 14, Section 1A, the following voting options, and then J Council shall take swift action to administer the referendum to students.
Great, thanks so much for that presentation, Madison. Definitely very illuminating behind the rationale. Let's open the floor for questions for Madison or for any J Council reps who are present. Ricardo.
So just out of curiosity, what will the discussion like within the Committee on Constitution? Specifically the committee addressed part of this issue, the subcommittee, what kind of points were raised? Why did the Committee on the Constitution end up with this position? With this referendum?
So I would say that we believe that 200 signatures is just not a substantial amount of the student body to truly reflect the will of the student body as far as petitions go to make the Student Senate act. Why we want to do the referendum is because we want the student body to be involved in the decision to potentially change that number.
All right, great exchange. Do I see another hand before I go back to Ricardo's follow-up? Yeah, Patrick Lee.
I wouldn't say it's too many petitions, but that there have been petitions that have had, I don't want to say insignificant, the best word that I can think of right now, number of signatures, and it failed in the Senate. Petitions that have had a higher number of signatures have been more successful being passed. So I guess that's kind of the rationale.
Awesome, thanks for that exchange. Ben Earhart.
Pushback that I can see on this, maybe, well, raise the number of signatures to make it harder for students to participate in the community or have say in what we discuss. So, how does raising the number of signatures, how can you ensure that raising the number of signatures won't make it more difficult for students who want to raise issues to raise it? Does that make sense?
I think it is supposed to be a bit more difficult because you guys are here to legislate. You guys should be able to understand the positions of your constituents, and you guys are the ones who are supposed to make resolutions and orders. That being said, if you don't act, then a petition is valid, in my opinion. But I think we need more than 200 signatures. I think we need more than 3% of the student body forcing the Senate to act on something.
Very helpful. Go for it, Blake.
We do not have a set number. So I think I appreciate that question because I want to make it clear that this is just asking the student body, would you be open to raising the number? This is just a suggestion. You guys don't even have to act upon their vote, if that makes sense. So even if they say they do want to raise it, you guys don't have to raise it if you choose that you don't want to do that.
All right, and I did see, yes, Henry Jackson. You're totally next, Ricardo.
Students who are in a minority on opinion on certain issues, 3% is small, I agree. It's not totally insignificant. So if you raise the vote, there's going to be harder for the students and their voice in this
I guess my answer is again that you guys are supposed to represent your constituents, and that includes the minority. And again, there's no set number in my head even of what we would raise it to. So I'm not sure that, I'm not trying to make it impossible for people to pass petitions if that's what you're getting at. Yeah, I'll yield my time if that's possible to Thomas.
I'm a co-sponsor on it now too. So yeah, I'm with you. We're together on this. Let me just be clear about what you're looking at here. This is an order asking for a referenda. So and your vote on this is not to raise the number. This is to ask the students on the ballot when we send out the ballot for student body president and vice president elections. It's just like any referenda where it asks, do you think this should go up? That is the bar. So if students feel like this is going to depress their vote or oppress their vote or suppress their vote in any way, they can vote no. It's currently at 200. As Madison pointed out, we had one that very narrowly made that threshold, and you all voted it down very close to, I think it only got 1 or 2 votes. And the process of the Constitution is if there is a minority voice, or if there is something that less than 200 students on a 8,600 student campus believe in that should go to the Senate, they should go talk to you. That's why you're here. Your job is to represent your residence halls. So if there's something that 3 people in your residence hall believe in, they should come talk to you. Say they get 200 signatures, this is the other standard. The standard is so low to immediately force the student senate to talk about it within 1 week. Like, you guys have things to do. So whenever there's some sort of constitutional bar that says you must do this in a week, it really slows down business. And I'm not confident that the student body should be able to, well, the student body should definitely be able to have their voice heard in the student senate, but a measly 200 signatures, I mean, this isn't for debate, but the reason why this order is here is so that you guys can do your work more effectively and not get bogged down by petitions that get 201 votes or 201 signatures. So does that clarify? Any questions on that?
Thanks for that, Madison and Thomas. We'll go with Michael Murakami.
Because I think it's important that if we're altering a right to the undergraduate students, to ask them about that right. This is my attempt, or our attempt, at being as democratic as possible in raising that standard.
And just to point out, this idea originated in ComCon. My plan when I was chair of ComCon was to just give you guys an order to do that. But Madison, in her wisdom, said, no, no, no. And some other members of Digital Council and ComCon mentioned that, we're taking away a right of the student body, not taking it away, but we're giving it a higher bar. We should definitely ask the students first. And I think this is important because from what I recall, it's not my job to represent students, but there was some concern about why only 200 signatures were required at the time when we had that one petition come forward. So this really is Madison's work, and I really, really do support it because it is wise to go this route.
Thanks for that exchange, guys. Do I see more hands? Folks that haven't asked questions yet, and then we'll return to Ricardo and Blake if not. Alec Breiler?
So yeah, I mean, again, as Thomas just said, I recall that when we had debate on the first petition that came to us with 215 some signatures, that we thought that bar was way too low. We had agreed upon that months ago. And then the same happened in ComCon. A different group of students, not senators, just regular students, also thought that bar was too low. So I have not encountered opposition to the question of raising it.
Very helpful clarification. Yeah, go for it now, Ricardo.
First of all, yes, I just want to highlight that this is a referendum on an issue and not a vote on the issue itself. I just want to echo what Thomas was saying. Secondly, I want to follow up actually on Blake's earlier question. I know there was some discussion within ComCon about this issue. I imagine there was also some discussion as to perhaps for both figures as to what the new bar should be. I know you guys are not that open to those at this time, nor in the future, but I am interested as to where those conversations were headed. We want the larger opinion within ComCon was as to what a more reasonable or suitable figure for that bar should be. So again, just to clarify and ask for the sake of my and the listener's curiosity, did you discuss any possible or potential bars that this would be revised to?
Yeah, so we did have some discussion on that. And that's where I think the discussion gets a bit more weedy. So currently as it stands, you need less than 3%. So some proposed 5% even, just that 2% bump, 7%, and then 10% was the highest that was ever discussed, but that was not a popular option.
Go for it, Blake.
So
Yeah, I don't have any problem adding clarification on what the current standard is, just so that they have a better idea of what they may be consenting to. I don't have a problem with adding some clarification there.
Very helpful. Yeah, Connor Delaney.
It's not referendum go out on the same survey as the student vote.
So yeah, that was my hopes in passing it today, so that we can get it on there, so that J Council isn't sending out a bunch of emails to students. I think that if we put it on the student body president and vice president election, we're far more likely to get a lot more undergraduate student opinion regarding it.
Yeah, and ultimately, when it comes out to a J Council email going out, I'm not sure what the response rate is. Trying to be careful with those right now, but if it is on the ballot, it's going to be a Google form. It'll be just the next, before you click submit, it'll be one page. If you do pass it, and that is the best way, because I mean, whatever voter turnout is, please go talk to your constituents and have them vote in upcoming elections. But that's really the best way. It's on the form that a lot of people will be using. So sending out a separate form would really just not give the student senate the best idea of what, it's only going to be people that are passionate about it voting. But if it's the whole student body, or the most of the student body, that's going to give all of you a much better idea of what they're thinking as well.
Before we take another question, I'd just like to refute the claim that people don't pay attention to J Council, because your post yesterday, when there's free food involved, everyone interacts. Incredible. Okay, that was an aside. Anyways, Alec Brother.
I truly don't have like a number. So and I also wanted to refrain from picking a number myself, because I feel like that will ultimately be your guys' decision.
Very democratic. All right, Blake.
Okay, we'll reflect that.
We can take that as a friendly amendment. Thank you for that, Blake. Eliza, your first hand. Exciting.
Yeah, we did. So that was actually part of what we did in subcommittee at ComCon. That is not as stuck in my mind right now as some of the other information, but I have it available and I can share that with you guys for you to see. I can try to link it right now.
We do love benchmarking in the student union. All right. Did I see another hand, Alec?
Yeah, then if the decision was to move forward on raising the standard, then an amendment would need to be proposed to amend the Constitution. So that'll be a whole Senate process. There'll be questioning, debate. You could refer that to ComCon again, and ComCon can do the bulk of the work and then kind of give you a presentation on it, and then you guys can make the ultimate decision.
Great. Do I see any more questions? Ricardo. Okay, we can vote on that. All in favor? All right, and all opposed? Wonderful. We have now entered debate on SO 2021-19. Would anyone like to raise a point of debate? Ricardo.
First of all, I want to say that going about this to referendum is, I think, an excellent call and a great idea from our friends in the council. Kudos to Madison and for Wisdom for closing this referendum in the first place. I think independently of our thoughts and beliefs regarding petitions and the current base amount of signatures required for them to pass, I think we can all agree that it is valid and purposeful to put any changes to that amount to the vote of the student body we represent democratically. So regardless of our thoughts on the issue, I think we should all get behind the referendum on this matter to gauge what the student body's opinion is on the matter, and then act swiftly to pursue the will of the student body at large.
Thank you, Ricardo. Very helpful. Ben Earhart.
Personally, in my experience in this semester, I think what I found interesting is that, members of the student body in general, at least those I interact with here, they're not like my friends or someone I speak to regularly on student matters. I found that they don't really engage me very often unless the issues on the student petition. I've had a few very specific incidents that have come up while chatter among the student body. I found that that's usually what causes students to move forward with this petition measure, whether it ultimately succeeds or fails. So I would hope that, in doing this referendum, we'll discover whether or not students feel comfortable with how low that threshold is. I think we as a Senate in general should always welcome positions to student body board. And I think, we have to figure out ways for students to continue engaging with the student body at large. I think that's one thing we can both improve. And we're already doing that by saying, hey, we're considering this, but we want to hear your input as well. So I think it shows, as part of the conference, Madison's wisdom on this, shows that we're forward thinking, but we're also going to do our best to maintain that democratic structure that we started to hold. So I think we should pass this regardless of where we're at now. Again, what we vote on now will only just gives us more information for it, more information, especially from the student body itself.
Thanks so much for that commentary, Ben. I don't know if you all have seen, but Madison has added benchmarking slides to the agenda for your access. And I'll hand it over to her right now to just provide a quick summary of what she's found in that benchmarking with peer institutions.
Okay, sorry. Oh, you guys are requesting access. My bad. I'm not a tech person. Okay, so on technically the third slide, I have peer institutions. And so the first one, WashU. And I will also note that I use peer institutions that J Council has historically used. So I did not just randomly choose these. I used precedent. So 5% is commonly used. 10% is required if students want to propose an amendment at Baylor. And then Duke requires 15% of the undergraduate student body to sign a petition if they want to amend their constitution. So our standard is extremely low compared to our peer institutions. And again, I am not proposing a particular standard at this point in time. I just want to see where undergraduate students are, have that information. And again, because this is a referendum, this is just a suggestion for the Senate. The Senate does not need to act on it in one way or the other once you receive the information. So it's literally no stakes.
Purely information gathering. Very helpful. Henry, go for it.
Whether we should essentially suppress or expand the number of employees. And that's important because it's also the majority of students, whether they will be suppressed or not, by increasing the number of votes needed for legislation for certain positions to reach the Senate. Now, I understand that we are trying to do this democratically, and I think that notion is definitely supported. But I think we need a number to be a rank of actually disagree in principle. I think people don't understand the context that doesn't make sense to give people information. So I think the student body is a big fault of offices that they can't do that. They don't have to do that. So while I disagree with the recommendation, I think that hopefully it's not easy, I agree that we would like to see what we have in the I wasn't really addressing anyone in particular.
No, we're in debate. That's what it's for. Thank you, Henry. Appreciate that. And I think just to reiterate what Madison and Thomas have said, I think you folks would decide the number. That's the plan. If you decide you don't want to decide the number and you'd rather have an outside force decide the number, that's something we can talk about too. So would love to hear thoughts on this. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so on that point, I don't think that we need a number at this point in time because, again, you guys are the body. Like, you should be able to understand that if your constituents do want to raise it, then you should be able to have the conversations with them as to how high. I don't want to choose a number right now because that would require far more debate. I think that would require far more time than a simple question of how do you feel about raising it arbitrarily, just very generally. Like, if they're just completely opposed to raising it regardless, then it's a no stop. Then Senate doesn't need to take the time to discuss what that higher standard should be.
Thomas, this is the J Council point you want to follow up? Go for it.
I should know that traditionally referendums are only less than a month. So if you wanted a specific number in there, Henry, it would have to be that number. And then, as Madison pointed out, then we would have to debate that year, and that would be one time a year. Whereas it's good to get the idea of, does the student body believe that it's too low? And then I'm talking about the number, you bring it back here, we can have those discussions. You can go to your residence hall and have them say it's 8's too high, 5's too high. And then we come back here and deliberate that separately. So referendums should be specific in a way. We narrow this down to a very specific point, or should it go up for consent? And then we can go from there. Because to your point, I don't think anyone in the student body is going to actively want to suppress their ability to raise their opinion or raise their voice to the student senate, unless they agree that we've had an issue where some opinions or some minority opinions have gotten to the senate too quickly. And it's slow time. I mean, we've had times where we've had so many things on the agenda, we had to turn things away from the agenda on a particular meeting because of these issues. So that's my response.
All right, I know we have lots of hands. I'm just going to go row by row. I believe that's Bianca. Go for it. All right, thanks so much. So what you're more proposing is a cap, perhaps, saying we would not raise it to more than X number, 15%. I don't know. You're proposing a cap? Okay, very helpful to consider. Ricardo.
I think when you're voting on that tactical table, which is estimates, should be informed as what they're voting on. I think that's key. And I think including a simple argument statement outlining the current status of the digital campus and possibly even a cap as to the maximum amount that would be raised. I think the highest figure that was discussed with them, if I remember correctly, maximum was 10%. Again, I wasn't in the subcommittee, but I think we could easily include both a summary of how the issue currently stands and the ceiling or cap where the issue should be raised. So we can make sure that people are voting and expressing their opinions, although in an informative way in which we can accurately gauge their interest in the issue or their position in the issue.
Great team effort. I liked that synthesis, guys. Okay, awesome. Alec.
I think that that is something to look at, because obviously, as far as an amendment goes, 200 signatures just doesn't seem like enough to make the Senate look at an amendment. At the same time, I guess I'm struggling because we haven't had an amendment come up via petition. So I'm not 100% sure how to answer that because I've not experienced the student body knowing the Constitution in depth enough to know exactly how they want to change it. That's typically what they elect you for. So I guess I don't really have a full answer on that one, I guess.
Very good. Michael Murakami.
Yeah, so when I first drafted this referendum, I put all the different options that we had discussed. I put 3, 5, 7, and 10. And Thomas advised me that that's just not typically how a referendum goes. It'd be far too complicated as a question goes to give to the student body. It just is a lot more feasible for us to ask a yes or a no or abstain question to generally advise the Senate on how the Senate should act. Again, I would suggest that if you want to know a number, then I would have you talk to your constituents. I would propose giving this to ComCon to look at more deeply and then revisiting it. But I truly don't see how having a number would help very much.
Michael, is that a follow-up? Okay. Go for it, Thomas. Go for it, Madison, if you'd like.
What was the summary of what you just said?
Are you just talking about a range, Michael Murakami?
Oh.
Right?
Okay. So we can, sorry, I'm trying to pull it back up. We can change the wording in the question to ask if they would be comfortable to raising it to between 5 to 8%. That's actually a completely separate issue that we had in ComCon, because there is a difference in stating a number versus a percentage. If we state a number, then that is that can end up being an insignificant number if our undergraduate student body increases significantly. I think a percentage makes it so that this section of the Constitution should not have to be revisited again in a somewhat near future.
Attempting to be impartial, but also helpful, I'm going to try to synthesize these. Perhaps what could be added is we could say the Notre Dame student body currently stands at 8,200 or whatever it is, and put that there so people know, oh, I know what 5% is, but it's not set in stone. Just a suggestion. Again, I'm impartial. Okay, Danny. Beautiful. Look at this. Teamwork. Okay, that is a suggestion that we could consider. Wonderful. Okay. Further points of debate, ideas. It's a collaborative process. I like it. Isabella. All right, let's vote on that. All in favor? And all opposed? Okay. Madison, would you prefer to do a hand vote or a voting link? We are moving to vote on SO 2021-19. Let's debate as it stands. So Madison has already agreed to you agreed to percentages, correct? Okay, and are we on board with equating those percentages to current numbers to satisfy that? Beautiful, okay. Let's pull up the Google Drive just so that we can do that right now and then put it back on the agenda so you guys can see that. Should not take us too long. I'm pulling up that doc that you shared with me, Madison. All right. So 5 to 8% is what we're going to change that language to, correct? And do you all trust that we can do the math later on the 5 to 8%? Okay, great. Okay, it is taking a bit longer and I want to be respectful of your time, so I'm just going to write 5 to 8% that we have all agreed on under that, and that will be changed later, but it's a friendly amendment that has been accepted. Awesome. So now we are voting on SO 2021-19 with the addition of 5 to 8% to give the student body more clarity, which is only a good thing. And Madison, would you like to proceed by a hand vote or would you like to proceed by a form vote? Either way is perfectly fine. Okay, great. We can proceed with a hand vote. All in favor of going forward with SO 2021-19 in its current form, please raise your hand. Okay, all opposed? All right, any abstains? Great, that definitely passes. I saw 70% of the hands. So thank you all for that engaging in that lively debate. Really enjoyed it. And I think it'll be great to see what the student body thinks. That'll be our next step. Awesome. I will give a brief summary of the new business I already have on the agenda. And I've been told that some folks may want to bring additional things up. But next week, we already have some good things coming up. We're going to have the OCC officers, which will be Connor Delaney, Blake Johnson, and my fellow Madam Vice President, Rachel Sabnani, a wonderful soul. She will be joining us next week. They will be giving a presentation on the scope of off-council council. Everyone knows I mean off-campus councils work. They've been doing a stellar job this year, and most of you are sophomores and juniors who may become members of the off-campus community soon. And you all are also great leaders, so they might convince you to consider these positions in the future. We also will have SS 2021-22, which is a resolution recommending increased student resources and transparency for the university's study abroad program. Really excited about this one. This is coming out of our Department of Student Life. So Ian Baker and Izzy Edgar talking about global gateways versus non-global gateways, equity there, making sure everyone gets the resources and support that they need, which may be relevant to many of you because you're sophomores who hopefully are going abroad when the world is normal again. So that's exciting and you have a vested interest in it. And then we've got SS 2021-23, which is a resolution calling for a greater emphasis on student mental health. Pretty self-explanatory, but excited for that one, as always, very important. And now I've been told that someone may want to raise something, so I will allow that to happen. Yeah, Michael Murakami.
I have some concerns about the regarding the either timeframe or number for students who are present. As such, with the issue of not waiver, having issues with their there's all the subject number, but practically people go out to this really constrained, limited number of
No, that's incredibly compelling. Thanks for bringing that up, Michael Murakami. I am very nostalgic for the days when we had paper and pencil and could visit people in the dining hall. That was fun. Alas, no longer a thing. So I hear you. And might anyone have legislation crafted around that they'd like to bring to the table? Thomas Davis.
I don't have particular legislation that I wanted to give your feedback. It has become apparent to political council based on my complaint. There is an issue just based on the fact of where we are with the virus and the ability to talk. I've had people reach out to the political council asking that the Senate suspend the constitutional mandated 700 signatures. I'm impartial on this. I want to be clear about that. I've made it clear over my whole career here as parliamentarian, especially the absolute last option. There is a clause in the Constitution that allows us to extend issue period for those who cannot make the deadline. Various circumstances to the election committee. And that is on a case-by-case basis. The written approval. It really is up to you. Those are the two options at this point. I would be remiss not to acknowledge this to you all, given the state of this how this year is going with the virus, the inability to petition on calls, but those tickets that were prepared for it, or petition tickets that were prepared for it, at that option, and those that were not. So, Michael brought up that people have talked to him. I'm saying my own people have talked to me. So that is where I am with this. So because Michael brought it up, if you want to have discussion about it, that's fine. I'll try to remove myself from it. So you should know that that's the issue facing.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm sorry for scaring you and asking if you had legislation pre-written. I was just saying maybe Thomas had thought about this a little bit, which he indeed did. So, given those prompting thoughts, would anyone like to express an opinion on this situation, which is unfortunate? None of us love COVID. Is that Dan Bondi still? Awesome.
Since they won't. Oh.
That's one idea. Do we have further ideas? Love the creativity. Karen. Thanks so much, Karen. Karen has a lot of institutional knowledge vested in her, which is an asset. All right, Michael Murakami. That's very fair. Karen. Definitely. I think you both have very valid points. And I think this is a case of hindsight being 2020. We did not know this would occur. We didn't know a lot of things would occur in 2020 and now 2021. We're trying to roll with it. So love conversation to continue. Any other points that people would like to bring forward? Renee. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea to play within the bounds of the Constitution. And Thomas, I bet, has an answer.
Say someone, some ticket does hit the 700,000 when campaign starts, they're free campaign. But it kind of just cause an overlap between the petitioning line, where people still are able to participate, and once they get that 700 verified, they have to start the campaign. It will not temporarily pause any ticket that has already reached that 700 and ticket has to this point. But campaigning will start keeping randomly out. So say a ticket, potential ticket, hits those 700 signatures next Thursday, then they can start. That is possible. The only concern that's been raised in the council is the fact that if tickets, petitioning tickets are struggling to get those numbers now, extending the deadline may not actually be. But what you're saying is, if you don't suspend it, I'm not saying you should do so, that will be the action that you should take. At that point, I would just ask all of these officers to encourage the constituencies to sign petitions of people that they would like to see.
Thank you for walking us through those nuances, Thomas. That was very helpful. And again, while you guys cannot sign petitions, you definitely can encourage other people to do so if they feel those folks will represent them. Ben Earhart.
I don't want us to Senate ever have to tell anybody who has aspiration to run that, sorry, it's going to happen. I'm not giving you the attention. That said, I believe, if I'm wrong, the method currently is petition, as opposed to years past, is via email. No, what is it via?
Google Form.
Google Form. Okay. So I think Thomas's point, as Paul said, we are in every single residence hall and off campus. I think with technology, I understand there are obvious shortfalls. It's very hard to have to contact everybody. It's much easier when you're running into someone who's dying. But that said, in my opinion, I don't see how it's that much more difficult for us importing tickets and those who are not in an office or a position where they can't go. So you can go out on their behalf and say, hey, so-and-so is running for this office. You should go sign it. It takes 30 seconds. Google Form. You don't even have to leave them in that form. You sign Google Form on your computer right now. So with that in mind, I think if we change the rules formally, I trust Karen in what she's saying that it's going to cause more headaches for us. Because if we change the petitioning stuff, we want something from up during campaign. What if something happens in campaigning and the question is, well, can we change that? It's COVID time. Look, second, we're going to change them for fishing. Why aren't you going to change them for campaign? I feel like if we open that can of worms, we're going to put a few more on the show. That said, I don't want to sound like I'm saying, sorry about what it is COVID, that's not what. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have to get this electronic. Everybody should have a means to do it IRC more efficient. All it takes is someone to see, hey, someone with my office or someone, hey, friend, tells you, hey, they're running profits, you should sign them. I don't understand. If people cared enough to go and sign a piece of paper when they came to them, or if they went to them and signed a paper, I don't see why they wouldn't feel motivated to fill out a piece of paper. So that's mine. I don't think we should follow policy. That's my position. I don't need to. I don't want to slight anyone. I think a lot of the points that are brought up is a fair issue because I have heard some chatter today on this matter, but I believe that if we set the precedent now that we're going to bend the rules over time, and this, even long, what happens next year? What if there's still kindness and forgiveness on the next year? Oh, what did you last year? Okay, now we're still the next Senate. We're kind of like, now you got to do it. So I think it's in the wonders of technology. I think we should do it. That's my position.
Thanks so much for that insight, Ben. I think what I'm hearing is communication is key. Patrick Lee. I believe that, you go, Thomas.
All of the rules for election are the most recent example of change from the past was the reason that was rushed was to hit those change events so we didn't have to change it. And the election committee, before petitions open, issued a couple preemptive advisories on interpretations of rules. But one of them was you can't campaign in or around classrooms for a class period. So like you can't petition in New York, and Zoom is like the exact same thing. So the committee wanted to make it clear that you can't do that. So we have those small little advisory things, but the rules are always in the Constitution. And there's also precedent from election committee interpretation.
Thanks so much, Thomas. I don't know if you folks remember that beautiful 11-page document that David Hong's Vice President of Elections made. Beautiful work. So what I'm hearing is things have always been transparent, but we've never done this before. So of course there is a hiccup. Understandable. Yes, Eliza. Absolutely, very helpful. Maggie Allen.
So there's a philosophical question about migration and process. That is so that potential candidates can get out there and have enough support to be out of ballot in the first place. So a practical part of the petition process is going to the dining hall saying, hey, I'm a petition. The last thing that we want is people who sign petitions because that defeats the purpose of the petition process in the first place. So there's a very difficult balance between what is it intended to do, which I have to defend from the Constitution side, is it's there so that we don't just have 25 candidates on the ballot, and also that we don't have any candidates on the ballot because no one knew petitions were coming out. So it's part of like notifying the student body that elections are coming up, and I'd really like to be on the ballot so I can speak the case. So a lot of it is that person-to-person interaction. But in terms of you saying how like judicial council decided they're not going to send out email like that because it defeats the purpose of the petition. But if you were to remind your residents, basically all I'm asking is that your residents know what's going on. You don't have to say whose petitions or how many petitions there are. But there is a difference when, let's say, but we don't want this to be a social media. We want it to be an election for students who represent the student body. And I would just hope that you as residents, all senators, can help facilitate that process and making sure it's not just
Awesome. Thank you for that exchange. Michael Murakami.
So I have two things. I think based on how petitioning as a philosophy is not to be there's no one going around. I think at that point the philosophical merit is really the other idea that I want to what his main thing was that I shouldn't change the rules. Campaign for over the election for over. We're going to do the same debate in person debate. Every other aspect of the election process is not changed in the way that petitioning is not we can't vote. With that being said, they can argue that we should change the one part that is very partially changed as a result of COVID. What you change, I think is very feasible, very reasonable. Whereas you're not opening up to change another aspect of the election. But only petitioning is
Thank you so much for raising those points. Yes. Oh, is it Dan Law or no?
No, it's
It's Henry
Henry.
Bates. Okay, go for it.
So
I'm sorry, guys.
gotten some about the difficulties of campaigning, especially with the virtual climate. And one thing that stood out to me, and I also last year had to go out with the 700 signatures to go on the ballot, but one thing that stood out to me is the personal interaction nature of petitioning. I think that if you're going to still encourage students to get to the 700 signature number by Friday, I don't know that that is the best idea, especially considering the rise in our COVID cases. To encourage people to go out and get so many more signatures over the next 2 days, even though maybe they should on today, maybe we have 200 cases, assuming that number is going to stay high. I don't know that like encouraging tickets to increase their person-to-person interaction is the best idea.
Helpful. Denny Scriberhorn.
I gotta raise a point that, like, even with all the stuff going on
out right and they really want to be a part of the student government, they would have adapted, they would have found new ways to kind of reach people and get their position. So that's probably one thing we got to think about.
Thanks so much for bringing that up. Ben.
Social media. So I appreciate you reminding me that. Based on what a lot of people said, I am sort of now back in the middle of this issue. I just, my comment point is, you are right, this is the most in-person interaction. And I also laugh on the fact that we are seeing folks. So we'll laugh on my part, and I apologize. But I think, I think I would be more willing to say, let's go ahead and adjust it. If we are explicitly clear, as Dan pointed out in the past, really, the rules have been clear since they've been clear well before this. And it is unfortunate that, it is difficult. It's certainly not easy. I'm not saying this is something that everybody should have some grateful. It's certainly not easy for us to do. But I think, we have to strike that balance of not making it so easy that it starts under the impression of, it's certain issues on the Senate, not full, but willing to have the rules enough to make it a bit more accessible. If we are explicit, I think I'd be more open to adjusting. If we are explicit, it is just petitioning period that we are aiming for. We have to give very clear reasons. We can't just say, time for great. Someone could always say, well, time for great. We have to be I think we should be very clear. COVID cases are on the rise. Just COVID cases in general. This is the most in-person part of the campaign process. I think, and then I think the idea is a good idea for all of us to encourage our, hey, this is happening. Yeah, it's happening. You may not have noticed. This is something that only happens every year. It's not happening right now because of the situation. However you want to say that, I think we do need to put it. We do have the largest power, the largest access to the whole. So I think my whole point is, I think if we're very clear on our reason why we're doing it, that this is why, not just saying we're going to do this because there's an issue. I think that we can sort of box it in and make it very clear. This is because of the immediate moment. This is why we're doing this. I would be more comfortable. I think in that case, that would allow us to move forward. And that, the only headache it would cause then the potential for, well, you can come up with for such and such. But considering whatever it is, I'm willing to yield my position on that. If we are specifically why would we, so that would seem like, we can understand very clearly. This is something you take right. We have to be clear this is something you take right. But if we are to do that, I think that's the
Thanks so much, Ben. Two things that I will say. One, I did not cap this meeting at 90 minutes because frankly, I did not think it would take 90 minutes. We are approaching 9:15, so I'd just like to put that on your radar as I respect your time, but I also respect the democratic process. So that's just a PSA. My second thing is that we do happen to have folks that are petitioning to run in this room. I think they have a very interesting viewpoint on this, and if anyone would like to yield their time, they're free to do so. Ricardo. And you're free to do that. If you'd like to speak, go for it, friends. Thank you for that intel. We always love understanding more. Miles Kelly.
How does this conversation reach a resolution?
Thank you for always keeping us task-oriented, Miles, and Thomas has an answer.
There's three different parts. One, that there has to be a legislative order submitted. That has to have unanimous consent from all of us. That's step one. So if one of you here doesn't want to do this, two, you have to, if that goes by, you have to agree that there's extenuating circumstances that dramatically impact the current state of affairs. You have to agree on that. You have to agree on that by 5/6. So that's the standard for passing the suspension order. And I'll reiterate the fact that judicial council has the mechanism in place to do our best to accommodate the process.
Okay. Thank you for those clearly delineated steps. Eliza.
They said that it's basically going to be that. Frankly, I don't want any of the current they have adopted as a capacity without because they have things that and but I'm not saying that just because they were in that does not mean others were unable to do it in the because they use a lot of time. I think it's a little bit of circumstance of their past that is between services. When they adapted to both personal work and professional life, and now we're having another week of their time. It gives them a little bit of leeway that they can have done in the past for other circumstances. Plus, they're also doing their own, I don't know, their own desire to be a part of the process. And I cannot think it would be, I don't think it would be so part of the process to get the leeway.
Insightful. I'm having a hard time. Oh, it's Dan Bodendiesel. Go for it. Absolutely. I just want to make sure any points of debate that want to be raised are raised. But continue, Dan. Yes, Michael. Love the innovation. All right, Ben.
Understanding where tickets are at. And I know that, I know you can't get specific, but is it a judicial council concern, or is it there are the tickets that have come forward, that's their concern? Because I feel like if someone has come forward that we can't do this, then I think there's maybe means a little bit different than the judicial council is reading. It might be too difficult for you.
Thomas.
But in the effort to be as clear as possible, we have had personal communication. We've had communication through judicial council about the state of the and it has come to my attention through other people that this is an issue. And it's our role in judicial council to take into account how the election process is so much of if judicial council has an opinion on the issue, we do. Not necessarily. But it's a matter of if the Senate, judicial council believes has a belief that there may be an issue, and as I mentioned, we have the mechanism in the Constitution to address it. The question is, does the Senate have a different opinion? And would you like to address it differently? But to be clear, we will most likely be exercising on a case-by-case basis the options that we have in the Constitution with written consent for individuals that are petitioning beyond that.
Awesome. Thanks for that exchange. Dan.
I don't vote.
Madison? Tell us. Facts.
Just to clarify, so constitutionally, you all have the power to suspend any rule in the Constitution, as long as carried. These were important. This is an example of the Constitution mandated stipulation as to the number of seats required. You don't have to do anything. It's just an issue that we should talk about. Also in the Constitution, our ability, as I mentioned, to extend the petitioning period on an individual case-by-case basis. And that is a clause in the Constitution that we will most likely use going forward, given the situation. If you all believe that you want to go further in your own discretion, which you can, as long as you're agreed, you can do that too. But it would, like, I think we've had a conversation. I'm glad Michael brought it up. It's a very good point. And I think we have good consensus. I hope I have given, for the people that were concerned, I hope that we have, our response to it on the judicial council, that you are okay with what your constituents are. Because regardless, like, this is not a traditional election year anyway. And this will be an issue going forward into all elections, into class council elections, especially class council, because that's also another line. Yeah. So I don't want to rush this issue. This is an important issue. We have our own mechanism to operate, but I'm glad we entertained the discussion in the body as to, is this something worthy of suspension or not? And it's really kind of a double bar that's super high. A suspending the Constitution, as I said, is a last resort. Never use that. It's also in the middle of the law. That's another part. So we're prepared on judicial council time, and we haven't seen any issues in this election that we can pivot and be prepared.
Thank you. Awesome, guys. So what I'm hearing is that it's Wednesday night and we can act on this. You all can act on it. I do not vote. And then Friday will roll around and then Judicial Council can act. So this is really if we would like to take action prior to that. And I do believe we've come to consensus on if we'd like to proceed. Dan, did you have another hand? Okay, I can't hear you, man. Want to say that again? All right. I would like to let Thomas respond to that. I believe he's currently in deliberation with Karen, if you do not mind. Thomas? Dan would like to adjourn, which is an opinion, so.
do have a clause that allows us to extend that. But we will accept those petitions if they reach that number past that. It's just a matter of being accepted. Remember that. Campaign will start.
Thank you, Thomas. It is 9:15, so I will ask you all the question. Madison has a form prepared. If you'd all like to proceed on whether or not you would like to suspend that clause in the Constitution. Is there a general consensus that we'd like to proceed on? Thomas? Not an option. Well, we can vote on the suspension of petition requirement. Okay. We would need a motion, folks. Or we could just adjourn right now. I want to do what you want to do. I have no vested interest in this. Let's hear.
It's just that the motion to adjourn didn't get a second.
Okay,
That's why we're still able to.
which is fine. And Michael, if you'd like to second the motion to adjourn, we can. Okay, does that have a second? Okay, thank you. Exciting. So at this point, now it has become a motion. We already were really in debate on it and there was questioning on it. Must we go through these things? Okay. To be perfectly frank, I don't know yet either. This was just brought to my attention an hour ago, but I'm willing to proceed with it because I think it's important. So Thomas knows more than I do at this point in time. So I will leave it to Thomas because he understands this procedure. Would you like me to contact Michael Murakami? Paging Michael Murakami.
We just need your language to be a bit more specific.
Not the entire Constitution, please. Okay, could I prompt Thomas? Is that something I could do? Okay, I cannot either, okay, Thomas can't make the motion, I can't make that motion. I can guide you and say that it would be a motion probably to suspend something related to the number of signatures and or the petition, the clause relevant to petitioning. All right, is that acceptable phrasing given the Constitution as you read it, Madison? We're going to fine-tune our language, I see. I do appreciate your patience. You will all be getting a sweatshirt at the end of this meeting. I'm so sorry. I wish you'll be getting a sweatshirt. That's the consolation. Thank you, Ricardo. All right. Well, this is evolving into something really fun. Yeah. Me too, but you know, sometimes these things happen. So, yeah. Well, it's not the end of the world. We'll decide something on this and then we'll move on. I don't think so either. And there's more to that. Yeah, me too. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, well, I'll leave this one. That's good.
I'm gonna have to go back.
Okay.
Spun a little bit.
Understandable. I feel like this would be
Oh no, yeah. It's all good. My like attention span. Yeah.
I'm sure. Awesome. Okay. Fabulous. Okay. I think we have exciting news for Michael Murakami about perhaps a piece of legislation. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Henry. Okay, that resolution can be brought forward. We need a unanimous vote for that resolution to be brought forward. So I believe we can do a simple hand vote here. If you would like that resolution to be brought forward, raise your hand. Okay, then that decides it. We do not all want that resolution to be brought forward. We need to do noes and abstains. Okay, how about we do, Madison, can we do a Google form so that we can get this in writing? Thank you all for your patience. Okay, it is going in the agenda under, this is now item D. Also, while we're waiting, I know you might have places to be, but I would appreciate if you got your sweatshirt now so I didn't have to lug it back. That would be awesome for me. I understand if you have to go, but just a thing. Okay, it is there. Oh, okay, thank you, Karen. All right, we'll give you folks 5 more seconds. And then I will announce the tally on this, just so we all have it for transparency's sake. All right, voting is now closed, and we have 11 in favor, 13 against, and 7 abstains. So thank you for your participation. I do believe that will not be moving forward because it was not unanimous. But I appreciate the robust dialogue, and I think we've all learned that communication is key. So take that as you will. Dan Bodendistel, let's hear a second. Thank you. Come get your sweatshirts. Oh, they're very cozy.